Hello, it's a little after 8 o'clock on July 3rd, 2019. Tomorrow is, of course, July 4th, and we're going to take a look at the weather forecast for July 4th. First, let's take a look at what's going on outside right now. So, Central Park is 82 degrees. It's not terribly hot, but it is humid. There were a couple of showers and thunderstorms that did develop over New Jersey. Nothing really severe, but nothing for our area anyway. So, 82 in Central Park. Let's take a look and see what the temperature is in Farmingdale right now and see what it hits. So 79, so it's not even in the 80s anymore. Dew point is 69 though. The dew point is high, so it is humid. Made it up to 83 in Farmingdale today, 83 degrees. And we'll look at some other observations here. We'll look at Islip and see what they got up to. 80 degrees in Islip, and look at the dew point up to 71. So it's quite humid outside, unfortunately. Wow, Islip is a lot hotter. Made it up to 88 in Islip. You know why? Because there really wasn't much of a sea breeze until later in the afternoon when things finally cooled down. But there was no sea breeze for a little while today, I'll tell you that. Didn't really start in until like 5 o'clock. Let's take a look a little further out east at West Hampton. See what West Hampton hit. So 77. Wow, a lot better at West Hampton. 77, dew point 67. Let's see what West Hampton hit. 86. So it was still hot there. But speaking of heat, you know, we got to go to the usual hot place, which is Toms River, and let's see what Toms River got up to today. I bet you it was a lot hotter there. Probably is a lot hotter there. Let's see. So it's still 81. No, that's got to be a mistake. The dew point cannot be 80 degrees. That's got to be some kind of mistake there. No, that can't be real. Dew point, very humid though. Dew points were in the mid 70s. So extremely humid there, and it did hit 91 in Toms River. So that's got to be some kind of mistake. That has got to be some kind of mistake. I'm going to have to check and see in some other stations. Look at that. Dew point of 80 degrees. I'm sorry. That does not seem right. If it really is that humid. Oh, my God. That is really bad if it is that humid. I think it's just a malfunction. 78 at Belmar Farmingdale, dew point 73. Yeah, look at that. The dew point did get up to 75 there. Wow. So we are seeing some extreme humidity over New Jersey. Not so much for our area, but it looks like New Jersey has been seeing some extreme humidity today. 77 at Atlantic City. Not quite as bad there with the dew points, but it did still hit 92. So they had to deal with 90s today in New Jersey. We're going to have to see if we can back that observation up, though. I'm going to have to see. It might be correct. So I have to see. All right, McGuire Airport, still 83, dew point 71. Dew point 71. So I'll have to see. What I have to do is I actually have to go and look at the Wonderground site. And unfortunately, Wonderground is having issues again. We can't see all the weather stations. And one of my viewers gave me a link to a map of the weather service, but that doesn't display the neighborhood observation stations. It only displays the airports. So we're going to take a look at what Levittown had to deal with today. So dew point 71. We can look at a graph and see what Levittown had today. So 85. It's going to hit 85 in Levittown, and the dew points pretty much were right around 70 degrees. Let's. I want to see what Syosset was like. Let's see here. No graph for this site. Oh, there it is. Nope, they're malfunctioning. All right, let's. I don't want Belrose. I want something like, oh, what happened? All right, here, it's back. Carl Place, that would be great. All right, so let's take a look at Carl Place. That's close to Mineola. So, yeah, hit 85. So we didn't see 90. It hit around 85, 86 degrees. Dew points were pretty much around 70 degrees. There was a little drop in the dew point right around 4 and 6 o'clock. I don't know if you can see on this graph here. A little drop. And I felt that the wind had shifted over to the northeast, and I think it was just some outflow from some thunderstorms that were over the Hudson Valley. So let's see if I could try to get some Toms River observations in here. It's hard. I'm looking at the I'm trying to imagine the map here. So let's see. Where's this at? That's Laurel Crest. We got to try to find Toms River. Here we go. All right. So here's North Delaware, Toms River. They're reporting a dew point of 74 over in that spot. Let's see. Here's Whiting. Dew point 74. That's still oppressive. I don't know about that 80-degree dew point, though. I don't know about that. You know what? Here's what I can do. Why am I doing this? We can switch it over to this. Let's see if we can find any 80-degree dew points on here. I don't see any. I think the observation station is malfunctioning. The heat is so bad that it's messing up. Still, dew points in the mid-70s is pretty damn uncomfortable. So that's definitely not pleasant. We're going to look at the Ventus sky here. Take a look and see what we have. And you can see it's a little better on the south shore with the sea breeze, mid 70s. And the beach is probably low 70s. Wow, nice and cool at the beaches. But you head in the middle of the island, we got upper 70s on the north shore, still in the low 80s. The city's still in the low 80s, and still in the low 80s in Toms River. So let's look at the humidity on this and see what we have here. So we have dew points, yeah, in the mid 70s. Pretty uncomfortable out there. Pretty uncomfortable in Toms River. Let's take a look at yeah, dew points in the low 70s on Long Island. So a little less humid, but we're dealing with a lot of humidity. So that's the unfortunate thing. So let's take a look at the satellite, see what's going on with that. So a lot of clouds around today, but we did have a little more sun toward the later in the afternoon. You can see some big thunderstorms here. Big thunderstorms going off over in this area. This might be something trying to get going here in the tropics. We're going to have to take a look at this. I really see some really impressive. Look at how high those thunderstorms are. We're going to have to look at the radars off North Carolina and take a look at that, because those look pretty bad. Those look very bad. But for the north of us, mostly clear skies, but we do see a little bit of smoke. Just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit of smoke. So hey, let me go to the Ventus sky. We're going to look at this for a minute and see what's going on over here. I'm going to have to actually go and look at some of the tropical tidbits information as well, because we have some tropical storms that we are, hurricanes that we're still watching here. So let's take a look at the radar. Let's see if we can pick this up on the radar. I'm not going to use the weather service. Whoa! Look at this. What is going on over here? Look at this. This is like a supercell over here. What is going on? It looks like something is trying to get going here. Look at that. Wow, that's something. That's really unusual, to say the least. So we're going to have to watch this now. I don't think that's going to affect our area, but we're going to have to keep our eyes on this, because this looks pretty impressive. So once again, a lot to talk about in the weather update. So I'm going to go back to the weather service now, and we're going to look at. I'm going to try to get some radars here and see what's going on. All right, here it is. There still looks like there's some activity, Philadelphia, but let's go further south and see if we can see what this looks like. Look at that. Yeah, you can sort of see it here. Look at how intense that is. Wow. So that's some intense activity going on off Cape Hatteras, it looks like. So let's look at the lightning detection, see what this is. Let's see what it's doing there as well. We're gonna look at that, because this is just interesting. All right, and you know why it's happening. We're gonna look at the water temperatures in that area. I'm gonna see what's going on over there. So let's see. This is, oh yeah, you can see where it's going off right here. So it looks like this would be the area where something is trying to happen, maybe. Maybe something trying to form, maybe a tropical system, maybe. You know, whenever you see a large cluster of thunderstorms over the ocean, it has to be watched. So let's go and look at tropical tidbits now. We're going to actually now have to go. We were going to look at the models, but we got to actually take a look at the current storms. So we have Hurricane Barbara, 120 knot winds, gusts to 145. This is a really strong storm. So here is the satellite loop. Let's look at the let's look at it on satellite. Here's the visible satellite. Look at this thing. It's still going, and look at how well defined that eye is too. Look at that. That's really impressive. Look at that. Look at that. Another big. I noticed these storms seem to have big eyes lately. There's another storm with a big eye. This is the effects of climate change. I think it's causing the eyes to be bigger and the eye walls to be bigger too. And that's this storm is really healthy, and it's really doing very well. Let's look at the map from the Hurricane Center on this. Luckily, it's in the middle of the ocean, not bothering anyone. Still a major hurricane. Maximum sustained winds 140 miles an hour. Movement is west-northwest at 12 miles an hour, so it's maintaining its strength. But as it moves toward the Hawaii, it should start hitting colder water and weaken. So we'll have to keep an eye on this because it may affect Hawaii in some form next week. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and see what's going to happen with that. Let's see if there are any invests here. So current storms are, we do have an invest here. That's not the storm off the east coast. So I don't think, all right, well, they're not, it's right now, that's, I guess they're not watching that. But that looks like a real cluster of thunderstorms that really needs to be watched, in my opinion. That's for sure. So no one's really looking at this area, but I want to show you again. This is the high-resolution MODIS satellite. Right now, just a couple of thunderstorms you can see. And then as I move it along here, look at that. Look at how it just blew up. Look at that. Went from this to that. So this stuff just blew up. So to me, it looks like something is trying to get going over here. Oh, this will have to be watched for sure. There's another site called windy.com too, which is also a good weather site you can use too. We'll have to feature that too as well. And we'll see if we can get look at the Cape Index on here. So this is the Cape Index. So right now, not much of a Cape Index in our, but you can see a lot of Cape off the southeast coast. That's aiding and lifting, and that's like it's something we have to watch. And we can also look at thunderstorms. So this will show thunderstorm activity in the area where the thunderstorm activity is. And we can look at the radar. So the radar, I like using the radar. So again, we can look at the radar here. It also shows some lightning strikes that might be going on over here. It's the first time I've used this site, but I've noticed a couple of other weather watchers use this site. So I have to learn how to use it. I'm not going to rely, but we'll look into that site too in the future. We're going to look at earthnullschool.net and the area off the Cape Hatteras, where these thunderstorms are firing up, and you can see, look at this. This is a water temperature anomaly. So the water temperature anomaly in this area is 7 degrees. I'll move this over here so you can see. 7 degrees above normal. So this is a substantial anomaly. And we also have a really large anomaly off Delmarva, 5 degrees above normal as well. So again, these are anomalies. We'll now look at the actual sea surface temperature in this area here. And we'll change this to Fahrenheit. It always wants to default to Celsius. So if you're off the Jersey Shore, Delmarva, that water is warm, 77-degree water, and it's just the beginning of July. That water is going to get a lot warmer as we go throughout the season. We still have a good couple of months of summer warmth to really get these water temperatures going, and we could see record warm water temperatures. A little better off the south shore of Long Island, around 70, maybe some upper 60s. But in the stretch where the thunderstorms are firing up, look at that water temperature, 85 degrees. So this is very easily can support development of a tropical storm or even a hurricane. And this is going to have to be watched the whole summer because we have to worry about this. This is going to be where a lot of storms, I think, are going to develop. We're not going to have the ones off the Cape Verde. We're going to have ones forming off the southeast coast. And the concern with these really warm water temperatures is that they can rapidly intensify. And we saw what happened with Michael, how it rapidly intensified. So this is something we definitely have to keep an eye on. So let's take a look at the models and see what the general pattern is going to be throughout the weekend. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a washout, but we're stuck in the ridge. You can see the ridge off the east coast there, and we're dealing with humidity. And we have this high that's going to try to build down next week, but you can see it looks like we got to have a stall front syndrome thing going. So we're not going to really get into this dry air that's trying to build down. We'll have to see what happens if we can get this front offshore, but we got this damn ridge here, so this front's going to get hung up. So we'll have to see if we can get into the dry air or not. And then look, right there, it's forming something. There you go. Look at that. There you go. It's forming something. Fortunately, it tracks right offshore, but look at how fast that thing intensifies. This is around next week, Thursday, July 11th, that something forms. Wednesday, Thursday, yeah, that's when something could form. Let's take a look and see some of the other models and see if the other models have this. Let's see if the ICON has it. All right, the ICON doesn't go far enough out. Let's see if the Canadian has it. No. So it's just the GFS right now. It seems to have that storm. Well, hopefully it's just a freak occurrence. You know, I'm curious. So let me see if it appeared in the other run. Let me just go back around to the 12Z. Yep. We're going to have to watch that. We are going to have to watch that. And that's exactly what I'm worried about this season, is one of these tropical storms or hurricanes hitting us. Right now, that high comes in, and luckily we have a flow to kick it out. But that might not happen in the future. So just not a great pattern for the east. You know, if you look at the temperature anomalies, you'll see there will be cool air going into the Midwest, but unfortunately it has trouble making it to the East Coast, as you can see. You just got this trough that just wants to hang out in the Midwest. It's like this pattern's been stuck for the whole year already. There is some cooling in the east though, so it's a little encouraging. I'm seeing some cooling. We'll have to keep an eye on that for sure. This is a long range thing, and the long range of the models are not not exactly accurate. It's more or less a crapshoot. So we go into Thursdays tomorrow. You can see all that humidity coming up into the middle of the country, and a little dry air trying to hang on in the northeast. But your best bet, of course, out west in places like Flagstaff, where you'll have nothing but beautiful weather. Well, we're stuck in the humidity. Look at the humidity we're stuck in. So we're trying to get rid of it, but you can see we just can't. It's like there's a freaking pump coming off the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic that just brings this humidity into the whole eastern part of the country. And you have to be out west, because it seems like the dry air, it just seems to set up there. And this may be permanent. I don't know. It's just not moving at all. And this is all due to climate change. So let's take a closer look at our region here, and we'll look at the dew points for the weekend as we go into the weekend. So for your July 4th, it's going to be humid. It's going to be humid, but there is a little patch of dry air that seems to hang over part of Long Island and the lower Hudson Valley. We'll have to see, but it's probably going to be very humid, especially in Jersey. Going to be stifling. And then for Friday, the humidity really starts coming up everywhere. Dew points will be well into the 70s. And that continues into Saturday as well. Gets even worse, so we may see some really uncomfortably high dew points. There is a strong, I see by looking at the wind barbs, there's a strong southerly flow, so maybe that will at least indicate a sea breeze, which will maybe keep us cooler, especially the South Shore. Here comes that front, but see what happens? It just kind of gets hung up a little bit just to the south, so we may not get into the dry air because, again, the front's going to stall out. You have to go upstate, up to upstate or up to Maine. To get maybe out of it, and we just can't seem to get out of it. And there's that, and again you can see that storm right there on the thing. So we just don't really have any extended periods of dry weather. We're constantly dealing with the humidity and constantly, and this is what makes it bad. The summers are just more humid than they've ever been, and it's ridiculous. We never get dry days. We hardly get them at all because of climate change. Let's look at the temperatures now. So we'll be looking at the temperatures and seeing what the temperatures are going to be looking like for the next couple of days. And it's going to be hot tomorrow, along with it being humid. Probably 80s on Long Island, mid-80s, maybe near closer to 90 on the North Shore. Jersey will probably be a little hotter than that. But Friday, I think, is when it gets even worse for Jersey. You're going to see maybe even more higher, probably mid or even upper 90s possible. But for Long Island, that sea breeze should help us out. We should be in the 80s. Good thing, at least with this pattern, it seems like we're getting a sea breeze. Looks like Long Island is spared from the 90s. Jersey, unfortunately, you're not. We go into Sunday. Looks like it cools off a little bit, mid-80s. Probably due to the cloud cover, and Monday. And then we're back into it Tuesday, Wednesday, back into the heat again by next week. So it's going to suck, unfortunately. Let's now look at the sky cover, and we'll see what we have with the sky cover. Total cloud. So probably won't be a clear day tomorrow. It looks like a good amount of clouds around. It'll be hazy anyway, and it'll be uncomfortable, so you really don't want to be outside at all anyway, unless you like that kind of weather. And Friday, same deal. Saturday, yeah, clouds. See, there's that front, but look, gets hung up. Maybe we can push it far enough south. Nope, doesn't make it. We don't get out of the clouds. You have to go upstate, maybe to Albany, maybe up here to get out of it. Of course, this is a couple days away. Hopefully, maybe it'll nudge itself further south. Looks like on Tuesday it tries to. And then maybe we could have a clear day Thursday. So I'll have to see what happens. This storm that develops, this hurricane here, it looks like it's forming something. We'll have to see if it keeps doing that. Might pull down enough dry air so we can get a clear day, as long as it takes that track. Hopefully it takes that offshore track. But I have a feeling it's going to be a bad year for hurricanes, and I'm not going to even go beyond that. Meanwhile, if we were out west in Flagstaff, we wouldn't be dealing with any of this crap. We'd be having a nice clear. Look at all that clear sky. All right, look at all the clear sky they're going to enjoy tomorrow. Clear. Look, that's the state of Arizona right here. Clear. Maybe a few clouds on Friday. Clear again Saturday. Maybe a few clouds Sunday. But much better conditions with the skies. They don't seem to have what we are dealing with over there because, again, they don't have these warm ocean temperatures. That's the problem, these warm ocean temperatures. If we go back to earthandoldskool.net, you'll see the issue. is that you have all these warm ocean temperatures here. And then I've got to wrap up this weather update. You have all these warm ocean temperatures here, looking at the actual sea surface temperatures. And you'll notice that it's the Atlantic that's bearing the brunt of the warmth, and the Gulf here is even hotter here. Some of these water temperatures in the Gulf, 87 degrees. I might get some 90-degree readings. Meanwhile, though, if you go off the Southern California coast like San Diego, water temperature is 60 degrees, 61 degrees. So the water is much cooler off the West Coast. And the Atlantic is getting hotter, and the West Coast is getting cooler. So that's causing the East Coast to be more humid, having more storms. And the West Coast, especially if you're in Arizona, you're just beautiful, clear weather every single day. I'll show you right here on the forecast. We'll look at our forecast from the Weather Service, and then we'll look at the forecast for. So here's our forecast. So it does have it sunny tomorrow. I don't see it being a clear day, 85. But then after that, dealing with a lot of clouds around. Maybe we can get some sunshine. But meanwhile, if we were in Flagstaff right now, I'll show you what it would look like if we were in Flagstaff right now. I'll show you what it would look like. Let's look at that. 75, and the dew point is 28. This is the kind of summer weather we used to have. Look at that. Nice weather all the day. Highs around 80 degrees, and no humidity. No freaking humidity. It's just a beautiful place, And due to climate change, people like me may have to relocate there in the future if this kind of thing continues. Because I can't deal with humidity 6 months out of a year. Yes, so I wrap up this weather update. Wishing I was in Flagstaff, even if it was just for a week or two, just to get away from the humidity. And this is what the weather's like all summer long. You get nice clear skies, and you can enjoy these beautiful pines here that they have. These are ponderosa pines. They look a lot like pitch pines. They're not pitch pines. I know pitch pines are still my favorite, but they're beautiful, and it's beautiful. You can get outside, here it's so humid all the time, you can't go outside. And it's a real bummer, that's all I have to say. Yeah, wishing I was in Flagstaff. That's the way I feel. I could spend the whole summer in Flagstaff, come back here in the fall. I think that would be, that's what I would probably do. But anyway, I do leave you with a look at some of these delicious shapes here. These are ponderosa pines. They look just like pitch pines, and they're actually called western pitch pines. So, yeah, beautiful scenery, and yes, they do have mountains, too. So that's the thing. They do have mountains, too. So Flagstaff's a beautiful place, and a place that people like me may have to live in the future if this climate change emergency is not dealt with, because it's getting too humid here. And I can't live in a very humid climate. I can't survive that. My body can't cope with it. Physically, I can't cope with it. Mentally, I can't cope with it because I like being outside. I mean, I miss the days, the summer days when I was younger, where you'd have days where it was in the 70s and it was dry. It was humid sometimes, so it wasn't humid all the time. Now it's humid all the time, and that's something that is going to be difficult to deal with for me in the future. And that may be the one thing that does force me off Long Island, if Wall Street doesn't. Anyway, that wraps up this video. Take care. Thank you for watching.